Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bar Shem El Shai, Bar Shem Harakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and well. And shalom to the whole full elect. This is Paya Allah. This is News and Prophecy and News update on the 1st of May. 1st of May 2023. The hopeful year. Believe it is May Day today, actually. Demonic holy day. Bank holiday over here. And next week actually as well. Next week Monday is gonna be another bank holiday due to the coronation of King Charles over the United Kingdom and other areas that pertain to his dominion. But I got a couple articles, alright, going and updating you on things that's happened recently, showing that look, the Lord is making his return soon, alright. And we're seeing these prophetic words that were spoken culminate to the time of our deliverance. Now, I'm gonna start with this article. It's an old one. I actually forgot to do something on it. But this happened last week Sunday, or last week Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. The 23rd. Yeah, Sunday. So 16, 7, 21. No. 23. Yeah. So last week Sunday. And it basically had I was out at the time and I totally forgot that it was happening, and then I started hearing the sirens go off and random people getting descent to their phone. So it's from Sky News on news.sky.com. The title reads: every phone in the UK will get an emergency alert next weekend, and this is what it's going to say. The government reveals the message that will appear alongside a loud alarm on millions of mobile phones. Wow, what is that? Millions of mobile phones on 23rd of April. But domestic violence campaigners argue the test could put people in danger by revealing the location of secret phones hidden away by those at risk. Alright? So, yeah, let's read on. The government has released further details about next week's UK-wide test of an emergency alert system. A message will appear alongside a loud alarm on millions of mobile phones at 3 p.m. on 23rd of April. Text that will appear has now been revealed, and it will say, "This is a test of emergency alerts, a new UK government service that will warn you if there's any life-threatening emergency nearby." And this really shows you this ain't like, it's a setting forth a new president, especially with the technology that we have and the capabilities of the technology that we have. It's, generating that. It's also for the use of what, there's a phrase, but it's basically it accumulates to the point of problem, reaction, solution. So they want to create a problem, then introduce and bring about a reaction, and in hopes to garner their intended solution, which will allow them to have more power over the people. Now, with that being said, this tech will give them, great levels of power. So it says, in a real emergency, follow the instructions in the alert to keep yourself and others safe. Visit gov.uk alerts for more information. This is a test. You do not need to take any action. The message will be received on 4G and 5G mobile phones, along with sound and vibration for up to 10 seconds, even if the devices are on silent. Alright. So I did see a video as well where they were saying there'll be it would basically be emitting a EMP of somewhat, or like a disturbing people's like frying people's brain, microwaves being sent out, and compromising your health and all that type of stuff. That could be a point too as well. I don't know enough to really say it, but it's believable because these waves have an effect on on the people, man. All right, it's frying your brain. Even they did a test on the iPods. They showed how it really is fucking up people's brainwaves. All right. So that's one side of it as well, and also it can be used to map where people are. All right, in amongst many other things. All right. So it says phone users will be prompt to click OK on their home screen or swipe away from the message before being able to continue using their phone. Drivers are advised not to look at their phones until it's safe to do so. The emergency alert system is intended to be used in life-threatening situations, including flooding and wildfires. So usually we know how this man is. He has a God complex, and he likes to let things be known prior to them happening. So this is like a test run. All right, for when these things actually come into effect. Let's not forget that Bill Gates did mention that this pandemic we're technically still in the midst of. The heat of it was like there'll be another one. That's what he said. This is not the last that we'll see of a pandemic. So all these things being set in place are really normalizing, creating a normalcy bias as to where people will just whatever happens they'll just kind of go with it, whereas opposed to if it happened abruptly they'll kind of be their antennas would be up and they wouldn't go for it as quick as they would. But all these people are sheeple. It is modelled on similar schemes in the US, Canada, Japan, and Netherlands. Oliver Dowden, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, said, "Getting this system operational means we have a vital tool to keep the public safe in life-threatening emergencies. It could be the sound that saves your life." All right. So yeah, on this one. No, that's actually it. All right. So yeah, this is something that's new to the UK. I do recall seeing it in America. All right. So Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. So these things that are happening right now, they've had think tanks, they've had secret councils where they've came together, conspired, conspiracies, formed a conspiracy, conspired together to put an agenda for a plan coming to fruition. And this is what we're seeing the fruits of the labor with this thing going on over here in the UK. All right, because it's part of that one world governance system, whereby all nations are all the same. All right, they run on like a franchise, if you will, or we're being meted out by the elites of the world. So now, with that being said, it says that, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So even they have, like they mentioned, the main thing they mentioned was like flooding and, things of acts of God, so to speak. Now, what we have to understand as well is they have access to that kind of power, all right? Being out of what? HARP, whereby they can generate, typhoons, whirlwinds, tornadoes, all these types of things. And basically, whatever they want to establish out of that, they can do so, all right? So having people on edge and ready for it, that's one thing. Now, let's not forget as well false flag attacks, all right? Because they didn't mention that as well. They didn't mention terror attacks. They just said disasters and whatnot. But in the event of, that kind of attack, they can give instructions to the people. And even then, they may even be allowed to capitalize and actually create more people to die. Because there was a clip that came out a few days ago or quite recently. I believe it was at the World Economic Forum where they said 2023 is en route to them culling, murdering, killing many people upon the earth. They said they planned, everything's going according to plan. So who knows, what's in the pipeline. But the fact that you're seeing this is very much letting it be known, just to, surmise or summarize, conclude everything. The 4G, 5G waves being emitted, they're harmful for your body. The normalcy bias that's being formed for people to be, what's it called, desensitized to the idea of a threat being, a threat. They just feel kind of, okay, I got the emergency response. They're going to instruct me what to do. They can go to an internment camp or, that type of thing. And then also the fact that they cannot, that them releasing this information will bring about, there's more than likely going to be a catastrophic event, all right, in the pipeline, all right? That's something I was going to read. I'll move on. That's the point. There's a few scripts I could get, but I don't want to keep it moving. All right, so this is dealing with Prince King Charles. So this is from apnews.com. UK's diverse communities ambivalent ambivalent. So they have conflictions with the powers that be about King's coronation. Musician Darion White is ready to play on King Charles I's coronation day. The flautist his fellow young musicians are playing anything regal or solemn. They're planning to parade aren't playing anything regal or solemn. They're planning to parade through South London streets, entertaining crowds with an uplifting coronation carnival. And this really shows you that we're moving into what? That Babylonian, this is where, as it tells you in the book of Job, homely, this man is looking to fill his belly and to gather, amass he pulled the nations onto him, all right? Because it shows you that even the mother of the harlot, the United Kingdom, all right, the British Isles, is feeding into the whole ideal to further push out that image of the beast. Set mixing, all right, gospel, jazz, grime, disco, and rap. There'll even be a calypso take on the UK national anthem. It's a fucking joke thing, man. It's Babylon to its zenith. While he's excited about the gig, White says he has mixed feelings about the coronation, like some others at Brixton Chamber Orchestra. White is a descendant of migrants from Jamaica, a former British colony and Commonwealth member that wants to cut its ties with the monarchy, and has called for the UK royals to address their historical ties to slavery. Personally, it's a little bit hard to connect to the whole occasion, he said. I think that the coronation could possibly allow people like me to try and connect to the monarchy, but it can be a bit tough, all right? And this is, Gone are the days of the former generations that were very accepting of the monarchy, all right, where they kind of held some pride to being in the Queen's country. It's a whole different, it's a new day. All right, towns, cities, and villages across the UK will be awash with Union flags. All right, which the Union flag goes back to the Union Jack, the Union of Yaquab, Jacob. All right, three lions being Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, the kingdom of lining, the British Isles. Okay, that now Esau holds, and patriotic decorations to celebrate Charles' coronation at Westminster Abbey this weekend. And officials say the festivities will bring Britain's diverse communities together. But the event is viewed with a large dose of ambivalent valiance, ambivalence. Excuse me, Salakia. Ambivalence by some in the UK, not least those with African Caribbean backgrounds and other minorities for whom the British Empire past wrongs still loom large. While slavery and the heyday of colonialism may be long gone, the royal family has in recent years struggled to grapple with the new accusations of institutional racism, most notably from the Prince Harry's wife, Meghan. The Duchess of Sussex, a biracial American actress, reopened the debate about the monarchy and race when she said last year that an unnamed member of the royal household had asked her how dark her baby's skin might be when she was pregnant with her first child, Archie. Right, and that obviously ain't politically correct, but these lot, they don't talk to no so-called black people. They don't know. Alright. And no, I don't give a fuck. She knows what she's doing, man. You're fucking with the royals, man. You think they're gonna accept you. Alright, but the reality of the situation is, yeah, a lot of people are not, down with this kind of situation. Alright. But they're trying to make a crossover, by introducing certain things. That's why even when you deal with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's wedding, there was like a real, crossover of black culture and British culture. All right. So we just hit some scriptures. Start with this one in Job 20 and 10. It says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. All right. So this is where we was talking about the parades in South London. South London really is like a fucking big ghetto, man. There's been a lot of gentrification down there, but that is really where you have the abundance of Jake, and it's a bit more. You have strongholds up north of the river, all right, but South London is just like because it doesn't have the city of London isn't in South London, and certain things are cut off. Certain affluent things are cut off from the south of the river. It's really a bit more of a jungle down there. So, they're trying to give them their little, jazz grime, and they didn't mention drill, but they're trying to give them that little, sense of, UK modern British culture. And, but that's them seeking to please the poor. And his hands shall restore their goods. Only that's what's going to happen. All right. So let me read this. What am I doing? Let me just read this. Break it down. No, I'll read this. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. 16. It's 15 and I'll start from 15 and 14, sorry. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another people, another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings now, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Alright, a man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. So all these things we're seeing are culminating to that part, those prophetic words coming true. Alright, because we see that there's a disconnect with the subjects of the king and the king to his subjects. So this is culminating to where there's gonna be a melee that spoke of a melee. People getting aggy and angry against the powers that be. Alright, so as it says, for there shall be sedition among men. Sedition among men. Alright, and invading one another. And we're seeing the love of many wax cold, as is also prophesied, which goes hand in hand with that. And it's going to culminate to what? Being sedition when there's a lack of bread. We're seeing with the economic crisis that we're in right now, the steady inflation that's going on, the debasing of the dollar, all right, it losing favor in the world of geoeconomics. It's all happening. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right, and King Charles they believe he's the one that said about how dark is a kid gonna be. So this is just setting the tone for, race, class, all kinds of division. All right. So let me get this. They also spoke about it being urged to swear allegiance to the king, and there's a lot of, I see on the social media, a lot of people are not fucking with that still. Right, so let me close out with this last one. So this is from firstpost.com. Biotech firm beats Elon Musk Neuralink, has implanted brain chips in 50 people for ailments. All right, we know that these people got the contract a little while ago. They superseded Elon Musk, all right, with the FDA being approving them. And we can see what's going on now. It says an American biotech company has already beaten Elon Musk Neuralink by implanting the BCIs in over 50 people, curing various ailments and disabilities. Neuralink, meanwhile, is still waiting for FDA approval to start testing on humans. So they're saying they're moving, with a steady pace, all right, etching out Elon. While Elon Musk and the people at Neuralink are trying to get FDA approval to test their Neuralink BCIs on people and get them approved for medical uses, a biotech in Utah seems to have beaten them to the goal quite handsomely and has already implanted brain chips in dozens of patients. BlackRock Neurotech, headquartered in Salt Lake City, aspires to cure physical disability, blindness, deafness, and depression. The Neuroport Array chip enables individuals to control robotic limbs and wheelchairs, play video games, and even sense feelings. It works by using nearly 100. But that's being the point. They're moving forward, all right? So there's a steady progression, all right, towards the agenda being met of what? Of mass sea-hipping of the people. Let me read this. Habakkuk 2. Start from 1. I will stand upon my watch and will set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come, it will not tarry. Alright? So the vision is for an appointed time. It will come, it's not going to tarry. So there's a greater normalization. Let's not forget Dr. Phil at the top of the year or the end of last year, I believe, released a video, it was a video clip where, they're really going in about, people are going to start taking this. This is a reality. It's going to happen whether or not. And they had some shill trying to speak out. And he was openly, fucking ganged up on and made to look like he had no argument, that it made sense for them to introduce the technology. So it's a steady pace, all right? So with that, man, I pray you're edified. That's the update. Showing you that things are still happening, all right? And not only still happening, progressively moving towards the prophetic words, if not already being met. So with that, I pray you're edified. To the next one, say shalom, shalom.